Hello everybody, Cooper here and welcome back to another video in the Rebuild Every AFL Team Until They Win a Premiership series. Today's a bit of a landmark video for the channel. We've passed 450 subscribers, so first and foremost, I would like to say thank you for that, for your continued support in growing the channel, watching the videos, and just making me feel good about the channel. It really does make a difference for me, and I just wanted to say thank you, and enough gushing, about all that. But also today is the most requested video you guys have ever wanted from me. It is the Carlton rebuild. This has been requested by numerous people on a variety of different levels. So hopefully we can make a video today that you guys are going to enjoy and one that I can be proud of as well. Now, quick disclaimer, I am a little bit sick. I'm not sure if you can tell by my voice, but I have very much a blocked nose today, and I will be sniffing and blowing my nose during various points of the video. I will try and edit it out as best I can, but if it contributes to the quality of the video, I do apologize. But let's have a look at what we have for the Carlton list. Apparently Lockie Fogarty has dislocated his shoulder and he's going to be out for the foreseeable future, so I'm not going to be using him this season, unfortunately. But if we go down the list, they've got a pretty good list. They've got, obviously, Charlie Curnow, Patrick Cripps, Harry Mackay, Tom De Koning, Sam Walsh, Jacob Wiedering, Adam Chera. They've got a lot of quality good players in a variety of different positions. I really like their list. Their weakest area is probably their defense, I would say. Not so much the key defenders, but like their halfback flankers and back pockets. Like, there's not really a lot of good ones. They've obviously got Adam Sard, Mitch McGovern, players like that. But just going through and having a look at the list, that's probably the weakest part of their team. They haven't really got a standout one of those. But I think there's a lot to like about this list, but there's also a lot to improve, which, brings me here and gives me something to aim for with what I want to do with this team. So with the last video, people have been commenting, make this more realistic, make them different from each video. I do try and make them more different. Each team sort of fits a certain theme. So with the Carlton theme, the theme that I'm going to be going for is behind Collingwood, they're probably the most affluent team in the AFL. So we're going to be looking for big names, bringing them to Carlton. They did it in 2008, I think it was, when they brought Chris Judd over. They brought Chera over from Fremantle. They've got, obviously, a Brownlow medalist and Patrick Cripps. They've got 2 Coleman medalists in their forward line. So we're going to be trying to look for big names, preferably Victorian talent, because that really makes more sense to bring them back to Victoria if they're not already in Victoria. But that's what I'm going to be going for here. So, but also, there won't be too many big names. Like, when I say too many, it probably might be only like one a season for the rebuild. We might add an additional with like little minor tweaks here and there. So with that said, we've got to skip forward through to pre-season. Fogarty, I believe, is just the first and only injury that we have. He is injured, yes. Sam Doherty, I like him. He did his knee again, unfortunately, which was a bit sad. Patrick Cripps is apparently out of the lineup, so I don't know how I feel about that. But I'm going to try and put a team together. We'll see what I can come up with and how the team is going to look for the first couple of games for the season. Okay, I've put a team together. I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing that I've really changed is a few tweaks in the midfield and the bench. That's basically the only thing I've changed. We've got Blake Acres playing on the wing. We've brought in Cripps. I don't remember who we brought him in for, but he is now there. Chera's going to be playing in centre. We've got George Hewitt on one wing, Acres, I said, on the other. Back line is basically the same. Forward line's the same. And we've got the Hollins brothers on the bench. I really like Elijah Hollins when he used to play for Gold Coast. It's a shame that he's moved, but that is okay. And we've obviously got Jack Silvani and Lewis Young, who I used to play with when he played for Sturt, on the bench. So he's going to be the sub for us. But I really like this team. We're going to confirm it. Hopefully we can get through pre-season, with a good result is what I would like. We win, which is very good. 119 to 65, 54-point win. Harry Mackay kicks 5, and we do very well. So that is good. Sam Walsh, 55 touches, not bad. We now have the opening round against Brisbane, which actually is the first game of the season. Normally we get the Carlton versus Richmond fixture, which is the one we normally get. But this year we got Carlton versus Brisbane. So hopefully we don't have any injuries. We do have an injury to Jack Martin. We'll probably just sneak in Silvani if I can't find a small forward that I like. Fogarty's obviously injured. Send Doherty's on the outer for now. We might just go with Silvani in the forward pocket and then we'll move Doherty to the bench. That might be what we do. Yes, let's do that. So this is going to be the team for round 1. We'll confirm it. We'll skip forward. Hopefully we can get a win. Brisbane, obviously grand finalists last year. We don't get the result that we were looking for. We did play well in the last quarter, but the game was well and truly over. By that point, we were down 11 goals at 3-quarter time, but we kicked 8 goals to 4 in the final quarter to only lose by 40 in the end. So that is a little bit disappointing. Mackay kicked 3, Zorko kicked 6, which is, interesting. But that will do it for this early portion of the video. I'll meet up with you guys at the mid-season draft, and we'll see how we go. I will see you very shortly. Mid-season point of the season has been reached. We're currently in 9th, which, considering how we started the season, I'm actually quite happy with. We've got a good percentage, 107.99. We were dead last after round 4. We hadn't won a game, and we've been much improved since then. So it's been good. It's been very, very good, this sort of back portion of the first half of the season. Western Bulldogs, they always really struggle in the simulation. I don't know what it is, but they always have a really hard time. So they're in the back half of the ladder. They're in last place, so that's something to keep an eye on, as are West Coast and Fremantle. GWS surprising, they're in 13th. Hawthorn also surprising, they're in 10th. But most surprising for me is North Melbourne. They're currently in 4th. They're a game ahead of us. So they might drop back down the ladder depending on how the rest of their season goes. It's the mid-season draft. We currently have 3 picks with the 9th overall pick to be selected. We've got a few names here. Who do I go with? I might just take Hardiman. He seems like he's the best player available, so we're going to draft him. The first year of the mid-season draft really isn't too special. Well, let's go with Levi Ashcroft. He's in the game, so let's draft him for the culture. And then lastly, we'll take Wilmore. Declan Wilmore, 19 years of age, 70 to 81 potential. Let's go with him. Okay, Gold Coast are our next fixture. They're currently in 11th, so it'll be very interesting to see how the team is looking. Now, we do have a couple of injuries on our bench. We have Pitternet and Doherty who are injured. As you can see, we currently have 8 injuries, so not exactly fantastic. Cripps is injured. Elijah Hollins is back, so we're going to bring him in for Doherty. We've currently got, I think it is Ollie? Yeah, Ollie Hollins on our wing. We just need a backup ruckman now. We'll bring in Hudson O'Keefe. I know he's a 59 overall, but I don't really think we have too many backup rucks. So that is going to do for now. We have the Sir Doug Nicholls round, Gold Coast at home at Marvel Stadium. We pick up the win, 4-point winners. We didn't exactly kick straight, but it didn't matter too much. Charlie Curnow kicks 4. We have Port Adelaide next to her in second. I will skip this match because we don't really need to go through every game through the back half of the season. Let's just hopefully finish in the top 8 get the finals, and then we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys at finals time. We have finished the regular season in second. I'm very happy with how the season has finished. We went from 18th to 9th to second. We couldn't quite go to top. We're a game behind Brisbane, but we were the highest scoring team in the AFL this year with the second best percentage. Our defense was pretty good, but not the best. Obviously, that goes to Brisbane. But very happy with how the team went about their work. We had multiple 100-point victories throughout the year, and I think we even got beaten by 100 points at one point as well. So to finish in second, I'm very happy with. North Melbourne, as I sort of predicted, did fall out of the top 8. They ended up finishing in 9th. GWS got up to 10th in the end, and Melbourne, probably a little bit surprising, they finished in 13th. So, but yes, we've got a few things to get through. It looks like we have Sydney at home first week of the finals, which is good. We obviously have the double chance as well. So I'm very excited to see what that brings us. So we have a few less injuries compared to when we last checked in. It looks like Elijah Hollands has picked up a little bit of a niggle, unfortunately. So who is going to come in is the big question. Looks like George Hewitt might be the guy to come in for us. Pitternet is also back from injury. We had Hudson O'Keefe on backup ruck duties at some point as well. So I think that will probably do it for changes. Harry Mackay is out at the moment. Charlie Curnow spent some time out as well. So we had Jack Silvani filling in as our key position player in the forward line. But here we go. We've got a final. First, Sydney at home. We lose, unfortunately. We were up basically for the first 3 quarters. Then the wheels fell off. So not good. Not good at all. We have the Gold Coast Suns who made it in the top 8. I probably should have made a bigger deal about that. But semi-final at the MCG. McGovern is injured. Pitternet is injured. Okay, we've got a few things we need to do here. Harry Mackay is back first and foremost. So we're bringing him in for Pitternet for now. He's not going to be our backup ruckman. That'll be somebody. I don't know who it's going to be, but Harry Mackay's going to go to centre half forward. Jack Silvine is going to go in the forward pocket. Actually, we might do Harry Mackay as the backup ruckman. We just won't play a specialist backup ruckman on the bench. We might do that, and then Chincotta can be the man who comes in for McGovern, and we'll bring in Cottrell, who can sit on the bench. We'll do that. So we've got semi-final, Gold Coast Suns, who they would have beaten Essendon in a elimination final. Hopefully we don't go out in straight sets. We don't. Big win in the end. 8 goals to 4 in the final quarter. Mackay kicked 5. Very happy with our work there. Prelim finals home against the pair, the Power, who finished in 4th at Adelaide Oval, which is a tricky game. Lewis Young is the only injury it looks like compared to last week. So how are we going for injuries? We'll bring in Owies, unless I can find some. Actually, Elijah Hollands is back. We'll bring him in. He can be the sub. Actually, Cottrell can be the sub. We'll do that. It's time to see if we can make a grand final. We make it. Sorry for the little pause there. Had to blow my nose. There's been a lot of nose blowing in between the simulation and here. Because, my nose is killing me. So I do apologise for that. But we do make the grand final in Season 1. Silvani kicks 4. Willie Rioli kicks 5. But we make it. First season. Very happy. Who do we play? The Swans. So the Brisbane Lions don't make it. We've got Carlton Sydney grand final, which is something that we've not seen for a long time. I'm assuming they would have made it as South Melbourne, the Swans, but they wouldn't have made it as the Sydney Swans against Carlton. So that is something new. So that is going to be very interesting. Pitternet is back. Harry Mackay has been relieved of his ruck duties. Just going down the list to see here. McGovern is back. We'll bring him in for Chincotta, and that will probably do it for changes. Now, obviously, this grand final does not count for the rebuild. This is just more of a token grand final for us. It's season 2 and onwards is the grand finals that we want to be winning. But it would be nice if we get this grand final done. We don't. This is the first grand final we have actually lost on the channel. Actually, that's not true. We did lose one in the Adelaide rebuild that I'm currently doing in another series that I'm doing. So yeah, I believe I have a playlist linked in the description for that. So a little bit of self-promotion there. But we did lose a grand final in that series. So yeah, we got smoked against the Swans, unfortunately. But that means there is room to improve, which is good. Charlie Curnow ended up kicking 4. Isaac Heaney ended up kicking 5. But yes, not good. Not good. If we look at the Brownlow medal, it looks like Nick Dacos won it this year because, as always, screw the ruckman. Zach Merritt finishes in 2nd, Will Day in 3rd, Dion Prestia in 4th, no Blues in sight. Coleman medal, Charlie Curnow kicked... Oh, this is interesting. So Tom Hawkins won it outright. There were 3 players tied for 2nd, and Jesse Hogan finished in 3rd, only 2 goals behind Tom Hawkins. So that is very interesting. So very close in terms of the Coleman, and then Rising Star. That's no Keith got some votes, which is great. He only played a handful of games, but nice to get a bit of recognition there for a Carlton player. And in terms of All-Australian, we have Jacob Wiedering, Cowan, and that's it. So we only had a couple of players make it, which is fine. We don't need lots of players to make the All-Australian team. It is more about the team success, not about the individuals. In terms for Carlton's statistics this year, Charlie Curnow led the way, 79 goals. Jack Martin kicked 48. Harry Mackay only kicked 46 this year, which is a little low, because I thought he had some big tallies in there. Jack Silvani kicked 42. Disposals, Cherrett got over 1,000. Sam Walsh over 900. Akers got 800 odd. The Hollands brothers did well, getting about 600 apiece. Marks went to Jacob Wiedering and Tom de Koning. Tackles was Chera. Clearances was Chera. Kicks and handballs, Chera. These are the head-out getters, and I think our guys kicked pretty straight this year. We will have a quick look. Yeah, everybody kicked reasonably straight. Very happy with that. Only Ollie Hollands, it looked like, did struggle a little bit with the goal kicking. But that is okay. Who got the most score assists? That would be Chera. So, yeah, very good season by Chera. He's probably the best and fairest winner this year. After having a quick scan of the Carlton list, there's a few changes that I'd like to make. Obviously, we've got the theme of bringing in big name players, and that is something that we are definitely going to be doing over the course of this rebuild. But I've noticed that we've got Wiedering as a key defender, we've got Kemp as a key defender, but apart from those two, we don't really have a great deal of key defenders. Lockie Young is good, but he's not really a standout option. So we're going to be bringing in a key defender at some point in time. Now, I do have one name in mind, which I am going to save for later. And I'm also going to look to bulken up the midfield. We do have a lot of good midfielders, but I want to make us a great midfield. And of course, I did mention earlier in the video our sort of defensive positions as well. So not just our key defenders, but our half-back flankers and back pockets. I want to be looking to strengthen those up as well. Now, in terms of guys that are out of contract, I can see that Lockie Fogarty's out of contract. We are going to be looking to move him on via trade. Carroll is the same. Durden's the same. Elijah Hollands will be keeping because he just got here and he's very good. He's got a very good potential in the game, 91 to 93 overall. I'm going to put a contract together with him very shortly, but we'll come back to him in a minute. Jack Martin, I'm probably going to be letting go. Marchbank, same deal. Binns, probably going to let go. Cunningham, I'm going to let go. I think, yes, I'm probably going to let him go. Lemmy will let go. And all these other guys down here. Chincotta, we might keep. He did play a few games for us last season. We might keep him just depending on what options we go through with our defensive positions. But everybody else sort of down this part of the list, we're probably going to let go. So I'm going to put a contract together for Holland shortly, and then we're going to work into free agency and some trades. Elijah Hollands has accepted a 6-year deal, $720,000 a season. However, it is not worth $720,000 a season, if that makes sense. The deal is worth $400,000 a season for the first 4 years, with the last couple of years being worth over $1 million a season. However, this rebuild, if it takes more than 4 years, I'll be incredibly surprised. So we've heavily back-ended this contract. This is going to be a theme for our contracts going forward. So we're going to try and make the most of the budgeting that we do have by leveraging the back end of contracts, loading them up and creating a bit more salary cap room in the front half of the contracts, if that makes sense. So Elijah Hollands, welcome back. Jake Lever has accepted a contract offer from us. We do need to make a trade, however, as he is not a free agent. He's accepted a 5-year, $790,000 a season. Again, heavily back-ended. It's going to be worth $450,000 for the first 3 years. Last 2 years worth more than $1 million a season. Let's put the trade together now. Okay, the first offer that we're going to send to Melbourne, we're going to be sending Carroll, Kennedy and Martin to Melbourne in exchange for Lever and 2 second-round picks, one in this year's draft, one in next year's draft. Hopefully they accept this deal and they say it's an extremely fair deal. So welcome aboard, Jake Lever, our first foray into a big name signing. Liam Baker is our first free agent signing in this off-season. We signed him up for 5 years, $710,000 a season. Again, another back-ended contract. A lot of these contracts are going to be back-ended, as we're going to be bringing in a lot of quality players to make this rebuild happen and try and win a premiership this year. This is what the contract is going to look like. He's going to be the first of 4 defenders we're going to be bringing into the club in this little off-season period. I've made a little watch list. I'm not going to show it to you just yet, but there's 5 players that I've shortlisted. I haven't decided who the other 3 are that I'm going to be signing, but I believe they're all players I haven't signed before, so there's going to be a bit of variety in this off-season, which is going to be good. So Liam Baker, I salute you, welcome aboard. Our next target is going to be Lachie Whitfield of GWS, 5 years, $790,000 a season, $400,000 for the first couple of years, then north of $1 million. In the later years, obviously we won't be taking that long, so I see this as a very good deal for us. If it does take this long to do a rebuild, there might be some crying in this video, but we'll wait and see. Anyway, I'm going to put a deal together with GWS. I'm not sure what we're going to trade. I imagine it'll be a draft pick or so, and with addition with some expiring contracts. I imagine that's what the deal's going to look like, but let's try and put a deal together with GWS. Alright, the trade that we're going to be doing, we're going to be sending Fogarty, Cunningham and Binns off to GWS for Whitfield and pick 28 in this year's draft. Hopefully they accept this deal. They say it's extremely fair. Welcome aboard, Lachie Whitfield. Daniel Rioli is our next target. We've gone back to the Richmond well of defenders. They've got a couple of good ones, and we're going to be taking Daniel Rioli from Richmond. 5 years, $890,000 is the deal. Hopefully we can work out a trade, as he's not a free agent until 2027. Let's jump over to Richmond and see what we can do. The first offer we're going to be making to Richmond, we're going to be sending Cowan, Marchbank and pick 36 in this year's draft in exchange for Rioli. Hopefully we can get a deal done. They say it's extremely fair once again. We are 3 for 3 for excellent trades so far in this trade period. I'm going to be targeting a free agent now. Hugh McCluggage is now signed for 5 years, $1.1 million a season. He's a restricted free agent. Brisbane have elected not to match. I'm very happy to welcome him aboard. There is one other midfielder who I actually haven't signed before, but I wanted to guarantee McCluggage because I think he is very good. If I have room in the budget, there is one other midfielder I'm going to be picking up a little bit later, but for now we're going to stick with McCluggage and welcome him aboard. The next defender we have signed up is Jordan Ridley, 6 years, $880,000 a season. The reason it's a 6-year contract is he was already signed up by Essendon for 5. We had to offer him the extra contract year to get him to sign on, which he has done. So we now need to trade for him as he is not a free agent until 2029. I've actually had a very good experience with Jordan Ridley in a separate sort of AFL 23 experience that I've been doing in my spare time, where I've taken over the Gold Coast Suns and I'm actually playing the games because I feel like the AFL 23 as a game is a lot more playable now due to all the patches that have come out over recent times. And I'm basically teaching myself how to play, and Jordan Ridley was one of the players that I recruited after the first season, and he's been really good for me. So I wanted to recognise him and bring him across into this series. So welcome, I shouldn't say welcome just yet, we haven't traded for him yet, but he is going to be our next trade target. This should be a perfectly fine deal for Essendon to accept. We're going to be sending Mitch McGovern, Boyd and Orazio Fantasia, who used to play for Essendon back in the day. We're going to be sending him to Essendon in exchange for Ridley and 2 second-round picks. Hopefully they accept this deal. And they, again, extremely fair deals. I'm very good at negotiating with these max trade difficulty sliders, I suppose you would call them. But yes, going very well so far in these trades. Very happy with this outcome. We are going to be now targeting some forwards. We are now dipping into the pool of the Gold Coast Suns. Something I don't normally do with my AFL rebuilds is trade for players from my own team. But we're going to be doing it on this occasion. We're going to be trading Malcolm Rosas, who is a player I don't know a great deal about, but he seems to be very good whenever I watch him play. He seems to always be really, really good. We've offered him 3 years, $680,000 a season. I think he's going to be a good forward for us, and hopefully we can work out a trade for him, as he's not currently eligible to be a free agent. So let's dip into the trade machine, and we'll hopefully figure out a trade for him. I've changed my mind on Chin Cotter. I think I'm going to end up trading him. I did think about re-signing him, but I decided with some of the other defenders that we've brought in, I think it's better off that we trade him. We're also going to be sending Cottrell to the Gold Coast Suns in exchange for Rosas and pick 13 in this year's draft. If this trade doesn't work, we do have other second round picks that we can add to this trade to make it work. So I probably won't use pick 13 in the draft. I'll probably just use it in another trade. But let's just see how this trade goes. They say it's extremely fair. So I seem to be a very good judge of what the AI thinks is a good deal and what isn't. So we seem to be maximising these trades very nicely. So if we go to the player transfer portal, you can see we've brought in Rosas, Ridley, McCluggage, Rioli, Whitfield, Baker, Lever, and then there's a whole bunch of delistings. Doesn't look like anybody else has made moves yet so far. But if we go and have a look at what the rest of the roster is currently looking like, we still have a lot of players that are uncontracted and unaccounted for. Durden, what do we do with him? He doesn't have a great deal of potential. He's 21. What if we just gave him a 3-year deal, and if let's just say we don't win a flag this year, we can always move him on next season. He wants 300, basically the same as what he got last year. We can offer him $370,000 a season. I'm not going to muck about too much. We're going to re-sign him. That is a good deal. What else do we have here? We've got Silvani signed up. Motlop is signed up. I quite like our forward line situation. If we go to our small forwards, Owies also isn't signed up. We've got Motlop, Durden, Owies. What do we do with Owies? How old is he? He's 27. He might be one we replace. Or do we keep him? We've got those three. Then we've got Rosas. I don't know what we do here. We've obviously got Silvani, which we played in the forward pocket for a little bit. But he's also our backup key forward, so we've got to be mindful of that. We might keep Owies for now, and then maybe next season we'll look to trade him. We'll give him a 3-year deal. See what they feel about this. He wants $438,000 a season. I don't know if I can do that. What if I'm going to play around with this deal, and I'm going to think about this for a little bit longer. Okay, we've offered Owies a bit of a crazy contract. We've done the 3 years, $440,000 a season. However, the first 2 years, we've offered him the absolute minimum amount that we can. 2027, we're definitely trading him, if not before that. So we're going to keep him for now, because I'm just mindful of the salary cap situation of what we have, which is we've spent 13 million on 29 players, which is a lot, but I don't know where we can shed some money, because Cripps is making 500,000, which I feel like he's definitely making more in real life, whatever the reason the game doesn't rate him that highly. Mackay's making 600, De Koning's making 500, Akers is making 600. We could renegotiate Sam Walsh's contract to bring that down, because he expires in 2026. I might do that. Wiedering expires next year. Newman expires next year. I might renegotiate Sam Walsh's deal. Let's do this live, because he's going to be around forever, I feel like. We're not going to trade him at any point, so I'm happy giving him the 9 years. We just got to figure out what he wants. How much he wants, I should say. So we'll just do this for now. I'm not going to offer him $880,000 for the first year. Wants $1.1 million a season. Okay. So he's currently making $800,000. If we can reduce that for this year to maybe half that, to around $400,000, and then on the back end years of this contract, just boost it up until the amount per year reaches 1.1 million, I feel like this would work just fine. Because we're not offering any contracts to anybody in as far as 2033. Our longest contract is until 2030. So we can offer as much money as we like in these back half years, because the rebuild's not going to go for this long. We're going to offer this deal out. We'll see what happens. This is going to take a little while. So I will be back very shortly. Okay, we've figured out the contract for Sam Walsh. He signed up. We've created a little bit more cap room. We got to sign 13 guys with about $1 million. We can do that. We can do that. We might need to renegotiate one more contract as we get a little bit later into the off season. I'm about to sneeze. Good job, editor Cooper, for editing that out. So I think I'm pretty happy with everything, the other business that we've done. I don't think we've got any other expiring contracts that we need to worry about. I'm pretty happy. Everybody else that's uncontracted, I'm just going to delist. In terms of draft picks, this is not where I want to go. Actually, is it where I want to go? Let's have a look. We've got picks 13, 18, 26, 29, 32, 15, 73. We've got a lot of draft picks, which I don't mind just using up, to be honest. I did say I wasn't going to use pick 13, but I'm not going to draft a rookie. I'm going to draft someone that's played at AFL level probably last year. So I'm not going to pick someone who's 18 years of age. So I'm happy to head into the draft now. We only made a handful of trades, did a few free agent signings. Let's skip for trade offer. Let's have a look. Jack Silvani for Bedford and pick 68. I'm going to say no to that, because I have a use for Silvani later. He's going to be important for another trade proposal. Bloody hell. Chera, no, that's an awful deal. No more trade proposals, please. For God's sake. Okay, we're all good. Delist everybody that's left. Let's get to the draft. It says the best available player. I know I said I wasn't going to draft anybody that's 18 years of age, but we've got a 77 overall with 89 to 99 potential. Now that's pretty hard to turn down. I'm gonna draft Darcy Harrington. Why not? Let's do it. And then we've got pick 18 as well. This is where it gets a little bit, in terms of the younger players, a bit lackluster, because if we're looking at the best players available, the highest potential I can see is 80 to 93. So we're going to leave that alone. But what we are going to do is we're going to head to AFL key defenders from last year. We're going to be taking O'Donnell. We just needed another key defender to do a job for us, and I think he is going to be the man to do it. I don't think we picked a backup ruckman in the off-season. So we're going to take Hayes here. Pick 32 is now here. Now, what do? We might go another midfielder or a key forward. Cooper Sharman is here. I know I pick him up a little bit more frequently than I do other key forwards. He's just always available at the end of season 1, and he's a good player. So we're going to be drafting him. We now have pick 35. Midfield is where I'm going to go. We got Sharp, is it Tom Brown or Tyler Brown? I can't remember. But we've got those two are probably the best two available. We've got Cooper Hamilton as well. We'll take Cooper Hamilton. I share a name with him. Why not? We'll draft him. The one thing I haven't drafted so far is a defender, but considering how many we picked up in the off-season, I really don't think we need one. So I'm going to probably pick up another forward. I think Carmichael is going to be the man to do it. Or do we take Amon Wilkinson, who is a person I went to school with? He was in the year below me at school. For the culture, we'll take Amon. We'll do it. He plays for South Adelaide in real life. He's actually not a bad player. He plays in the SANFL, and he used to play for Meadows, if I'm not mistaken, in the Hills Football League, which we didn't play in the same division because I was in the Central Division, he was in the Country Division. So when we were playing in the Hills League, so yeah, bit of a back. Oop! I just accidentally drafted the key defender. Fantastic. I was meant to press the sort button and I was too busy storytelling that I made a mistake, which happens. Let's take Toby Murray. He's a channel favourite. Well, he's a favourite of mine. I'm not sure he's a favourite to you guys, but I like drafting him. We're going to be drafting him here. Lastly, we're going to be taking another midfielder. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be Sharp. I think I like Sharp. We're going to be taking him here. And that is our national draft done. We now need to head towards the rookie draft where we need to take 4 players. Our first pick is at pick 17, so we can just wait a little bit before we do anything too silly. Who are the best older players available? Is there anybody that's really good here? Not that I can see so far. Hanson Jr. is good. We'll take him. McLennan's going to be our next pick. I know I haven't taken the defender yet, but I think there's no harm in taking one. He's going to be the only one that we take. So we're going to be taking Jez McLennan here. McCaig is going to be our next pick. He's a 68 overall. I don't feel good about him, but he's the best key defender available. I just wanted to pick another one. And then we've got pick 49 to end the draft. Let's just take Hugo. Where's Hugo Dunkley? Is he around the place somewhere? I can't see him, but let's just take Martin. He's best player available. We'll take him. Hunter Martin. That's a great name. Guernsey numbers are here. I'm going to be spending a little bit of time, as I always do with Guernsey numbers, sorting through this, making sure we give everybody the right numbers. Not that we play any games in this series, but it just makes me feel good. I've got no other reason than that. It's just to do this. It makes me feel good. So I'm going to sort through this, as we did bring in a few players this off-season, and we'll see what we can do. I'll meet you guys for pre-season, and then we'll get into the first half of the season as well. Pre-season this year, we're going to be at Icon Park against the Brisbane Lions. Sam Walsh is injured, unfortunately, as is Pitternet, so our ruck situation is in the toilet, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to be spending a little bit of time putting this team together. Our back line is looking very strong compared to where it was last year. So I'm very happy with some of the work that we have done there. I don't know how long Walsh and Pitternet are out for. Who's the other injury that we have? McCaig. So I'm not too worried about him. I'm more worried about Pitternet and Walsh. Let's have a quick look at that before we put the team together. Walsh has a fractured rib, which is only a week. McCaig is a hamstring strain, and Pitternet's a fitness test. So it's not going to be long term, which is good. But I will be back very shortly once I've put our best 23 together. Okay, we've put a team together. We've got Whitfield, Lever, Ridley, Rioli, Wiedering, Baker as our back 6. Hewitt, Akers, Hollands, that's Elijah Hollands, I should say, Tom De Koning, Chera, and Hugh McCluggage as our midfield. Then we've got Owies, Harry Mackay, Jesse Motlop, Roses, Durden, and Charlie Curnow as our forward line. We're actually going to be having Jack Silvani as our backup ruck for now. I feel like he's played in the ruck before. I didn't like any of our other backup ruckman options, so until Pitternet comes back next week, he can just sit there on the bench for now. And we got Ollie Hollands, Kemp, Cripps, and Sard as the sub. I'm pretty happy with how the team is looking. Pre-season should be fun. let's see how we go. It's a big win. It's a very big win. 78 points. I'm very happy with. We kicked straight, kicked a lot of goals. Charlie Curnow kicked 6. Akers got a lot of the ball. I am very happy with this preseason match, as I think Brisbane finished on top of the ladder last year, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I recorded the first half of this episode. I did basically everything I've done today is the off season onwards, because I went on holiday and then I got sick and then I had to wait till I got better to record the second half of this video, which is why it's taken a while to come out. So I do apologize for that. I should have said that earlier. But we now have GWS in round 1. We're in opening round, I should say. Harry Mackay is injured, which is not ideal. I don't think we really addressed the key forward position, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. That is a mistake. We'll just put Jack Silvani there for now. So I don't know how long Harry Mackay is going to be out for. Sam Walsh is back also. Ollie Hollands can come out. Sam Walsh can go to the wing. Chera can go. Actually, Walsh can swap with Chera. Chera can go to the wing. That will work out just fine. And then Cripps can continue to be the captain off the bench. I'm happy with that. Or should we have Doherty? We're going to have Doherty on the bench. Actually, no, we won't. He's getting a bit older, so we'll give the playing time to some of our younger guys. I'm happy with the rest of this team. What is Harry Mackay's injury? He's only out with a fitness test. That's fine. Okay. Opening round, GWS. After this, we'll skip forward to the mid-season break. Hopefully, nothing breaks in between now and then. And we win opening round, 49 points. Didn't kick straight, doesn't matter. I'm not too worried about it. Cripps kicks 3 goals off the bench in a very solid performance. Very happy. We now have the traditional round 1 match. Actually, I will do this match on camera because it is the traditional round 1 match between Richmond and Carlton. I do feel very strongly about it, as this. I don't really like opening round. I think it's a bit silly, but we're gonna do this. Just one more secret bonus match, just because Whitfield's our only injury so far, which means Pinnock's already back. What am I talking about? But Whitfield's going to be out. Mackay can come back in for I don't know who. Probably Hollands, and then we'll put Silvani on the bench. We'll do that. After this match, we'll get into the mid-season break. We've got a lot of stops and pauses on the way to the mid-season break. Hopefully, we go 2 for 2 to start the season. We absolutely batter Richmond by 88 points. Game was over at halftime. Yeah, not much to talk about in this one. Very happy. Hugh McCluggage gets 45 touches. Cripps has 41 off the bench. Pretty happy. Pretty happy. I will meet up with you guys at the mid-season break. I will see you guys very shortly. Okay, we have reached the middle point of the season and we're actually doing very well. We are 9 wins, 1 loss after 10 games. The only loss that we've had was a 2-point loss to Fremantle, which they're currently in 15th, so take from that what you will. But we've been doing very well. We've had our fair share of 100-point wins. We've had our fair share of very close victories, and we've also had a mid-season retirement to none other than, if I can find him, where is he? Nick Newman has retired. So one of our defensive options, which isn't ideal, but that is a position that we did stock up a lot of talent in during the off season, so I'm not too phased about it, but is annoying that he has retired and we're not going to be available for us for the rest of the season, unfortunately. So anyway, we're going to have to make do without him. We've got 1 selection in the mid-season draft. I'm really just going to pick best player available, as is most standard at this point in the rebuilds. I can see that Nick Cox is available, McHenry. We might go down the path of another forward. That might be something that we do. I'm going to have a look around, see who's here, and I'm going to have a think about things, and we'll see where we go. I have decided that I'm going to pull the trigger on Ned McHenry with our pick in the mid-season draft this year. As I said before, we've only got the 1 pick available to us at pick 15 in this draft. if we have a look at some of the other talent that got picked, we can see that Dylan Shield got picked, Tommy Sparrow, Adam Tomlinson, Nathan Murphy, who's just retired in real life, Zach Guthrie, Nicola Dasney, Zach Tui's gone back to Geelong. So good names, but no sort of outstanding names that we could have really, picked. So I'm not too fussed about the pick that we did make, but it is going to be an addition to the team for the rest of the season. So we did actually have a few injuries to our forward line, so we might actually bring in Ned McHenry straight away. Actually, McCluggage is back, so we're not going to do that. I've changed my mind. Sorry, Ned McHenry. So we're going to do that. Jesse Motlop can come on for Jack Silvani, who can come back to the bench. Cripps can come back to the bench as well. We've got West Coast in round 12, I think this is now, or round 13, I can't remember. But as you can see, we've had a fair few injuries. We've only got the 3 at the moment, but I'm liking where things are going. So we'll submit this team. It is Sir Doug Nicholls' round, so what round is it actually? It is round 11. I wasn't even close. Let's see how we go. Obviously I'm recording this after the latest patch has come out, so there is now a spectate button for some of our games. So if we wish to just spectate the game, not play it, that is an option down the line. So if you guys want to see me spectate a game, whether it's a grand final or an important game, this applies to my Adelaide series I'm doing as well. Let me know in the comments, if that's something you're interested in seeing. If not, we can just do same old routine as normal. So anyway, we're going to simulate this game up against West Coast. And we do win quite comfortably by 49 points. We only kicked 1 goal in the final quarter. We only kicked 2 goals in the second half. We kicked 16 goals in the first half. We did not kick straight in the second half, so a little bit disappointing there, but I'm not too worried about it. I will meet you guys at the end of the regular season. We'll do a quick review of the ladder heading into finals. So I'm assuming that's where we'll be come season's end, and then we'll see where we go. So I'll see you guys very shortly. Finals time is now here. We'll be playing St Kilda in the first week of the finals. We did lose a couple of matches towards the back end of the season, but I'm very happy with where we have finished. We are 4 games clear of the top of the ladder. Actually 3.5 games clear, I should say, because Hawthorn did have a draw. But very happy. We've got a very healthy percentage. We, by far and away, the most dominant team in the regular season. We skip forward. We've got St Kilda. We've got home. It's not really home ground advantage because it's 2 Victorian teams. But we're playing at the MCG for our first final. And we have a slew of injuries to deal with. Now, Hollins is going to come in for Hewitt. I already know that. I've been playing Lewis Young in the back pocket because our back pockets have been decimated with injuries. So we're going to bring in Jordan Ridley, who can play on the back flank. Let's see who else is here. You can see Sard is injured, Rioli's injured, McCluggage is injured. Owies is back. So we might bring in Owies for McHenry. Actually, we'll just put McHenry on the bench. Owies can sit on the half-forward flank. Is anybody back from injury? Whitfield's back from injury, which is good. We might take Lewis Young out now and just play Whitfield on the half-back flank. Ridley can play in the back pocket. So we're definitely not at full strength, but we still have a pretty good team out on the park. I'm very happy with it. Apart from those 5 injuries that we do have, we're going to keep trucking on. We've got Carlton, St Kilda, first week of the finals. How do we go? We smoked St Kilda in the first week of the finals. 114-point win. 16 goals in the first half. Outstanding performance. Who kicked all the goals? Mackay kicked 8. Walsh, Cripps and Akers each had 40+ possessions. Charlie Kerner kicked 4. Roses kicked 4. Very happy with this performance. So we get the week off, which is great. We have Hawthorn, who finished second on the ladder in the prelim final. Home ground advantage. This week supposed to be the home ground advantage. We've got some injuries back, which is good. Rioli's back. No, he's not. He's still injured. Sard is back. We'll bring him in for Williams. Williams can come out. I just prefer having Sard in there. He's more of an experienced player. And plus we get that nice run and carry from the back half, I should say. We'll put Sard on the back flank, not the back pocket. Just how I feel about it. Is anybody else back? I don't really think so. It would be nice to have Rioli and McCluggage, but we're going to have to go without for now. We'll submit this team. Can we get through to the grand final? That would be nice. So we don't have to do another season. Let's do it. No, we get belted. Oh, no. Oh, the season ends in heartache. Oh, we have to come back for a season 3, guys. Oh, no. Ginnivan kicked 4. Lewis. Jai Newcomb had 57 touches. Jeez. Oh, we got smoked. It was relatively close at half time, but it was 17 goals to 7 in the third. Not the third quarter, the second half. Ugh, that's disappointing. Who wins the flag in the end? Let's have a look. Hawthorn wins the flag in the end. I'm not surprised. Essendon beat Brisbane in the other prelim. And then we have a nice grand final. Hawthorn won by 51 points. We'll have a quick look at statistics. Because I'm recording this quite late at night. I don't really want to do the third season. I'm a bit tired. So we'll do the third season tomorrow. Obviously it won't matter for you guys. But Charlie Curnow leads for goal kicking this year with 64 goals. Mackay, 57. Roses did a really good job. 48 goals. Chipped in with over 500 disposals. As did Jesse Motlop. Got the 47 goals and over 600 disposals. Durden, 45. Owies, 33. Tom De Koning kicked 24 out of the ruck. He was very good. Sam Walsh, Silvani. Yeah. I thought we had a pretty good team, to be honest. So I probably won't do a great deal of recruitment in the off-season. Obviously, we'll still do some. Patch up any holes that we have in the team. But largely, we're going to be running it back compared to this past season. So how do we go in terms of accuracy? We weren't particularly accurate in front of goal. Charlie Curnow basically going at 50%, same as Durden. Owies. Roses was okay, as was Mackay. But yeah, we kicked a lot of behind. So we didn't kick particularly straight, which might have cost us in the end. But when you lose by 85 in the prelim final, nothing really matters. So we're going to skip forward to the off-season and then we'll do some stuff then. I'm so disappointed. I really thought we were going to win this in 2 seasons. But anyway, season 3 coming up soon. Coming up shortly. I don't even know what I'm saying. After spending some time thinking long and hard about how we didn't win the Premiership last year, I've come to an epiphany. I just need to assemble the best list possible. It sounds so simple. I thought I'd done that last season, but clearly I didn't because we lost in the preliminary final. But I'm assembling the Avengers. Let's bring all the big names to Carlton. I said this is what I was going to do at the start of the episode. We half did it. We brought a few big names across to the Carlton Blues last off-season. Clearly, that was not enough, so we need to go get some more. Who do we get? That is the question. But before we get into looking at who the Avengers are that we need to assemble, we're going to go over the end-of-season awards. So we can see that a whole host of ruckmen won the top polling Brownlow medalists. Brownlow medal vote getters were ruckmen, but if we go based on who anybody who's a non-ruckman, because ruckmen rarely win the Brownlow, you can see that Ross from Richmond won the Brownlow with 13 votes. Luke Parker finished in second, and we had 2 of our players finish on 12 votes, equal third with Lockie Hunter as well. In terms of the Coleman, Georgiadis picked that up with 76 goals, with Tumid Peter finishing in second with 72. Charlie Curnow was in and around the top sort of 10, but rarely did I think he was going to be challenging for the Coleman at any point in time. And the Rising Star, we didn't actually draft anybody last year, so, well, not anybody that would have been applicable for this award, so I'm not surprised that we didn't actually win anybody in this award. In terms of the All-Australian team, we can see that Charlie Curnow, Jesse Motlop, Patrick Cripps, Brodie Kemp, I believe it's Brodie Kemp, Jacob Wiedering. So we had 5 All-Australians, so that just goes to show how dominant we were across the board last season. But the trade period is now here. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at free agency to see who is available. Because I actually, scratch that. The first thing I'm going to do is look at our list to see who's out of contract. We can see that Jack Silvagni's out of contract, Jesse Motlop, Chera's out of contract, and I would like to bring him back. Tom de Koning, Akers, Sam Doherty's down at 64. That we're just going to let him go. Brody Kemp's out of contract. I was going to say down to an 87. He didn't move anywhere. He was already an 87. But sort of the fringe guys that are sort of 84 and below, with the exception of probably Silvagni and Motlop because they had good seasons last year, I'm probably going to look to move in exchange for the top, what's the right word? The elite of the elite is what I'm going for here. So there are those kind of players that are out of contract I'm going to get rid of, sorry. The players that are currently under contract, so someone like Ollie Hollands, for example, who is under an 84 overall, but is under contract, I'm just going to keep, so there's no point in trading him. But players like your Zach Williams of the world, who's getting a bit older now, I'm going to move him on. Even though, actually, one of our guys retired. I can't remember who that was. Was that Zach Williams? No, it was Nick Newman that retired, so going to be losing him, obviously. But we're going to go balls to the wall. We're going to build this team on platinum, basically, if that makes sense. We're just going to do the best job that we possibly can. We're going to build the most overpowered team, and fueling from the anger of losing in the prelim final last year that I felt, we're going to make the strongest team that I possibly can. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to sign up some contracts and then we'll look at the free agents. Jack Silvagni has re-signed with us for a 3-year deal, $495,000 per season on average. He doesn't actually fit the criteria of the kind of player that I wanted to keep, but because he means so much to Carlton, just as a Carlton person, as a Carlton fan, as someone whose family is tied so deeply into Carlton. He's a third generation Carlton player. I couldn't let him go. He's the only sort of sentimental player that I am keeping. Everybody else who doesn't fit the criteria, I am moving on, shipping away. No return shipping whatsoever. The metaphor got away from me a little bit there. But Jack Silvagni, he's staying on for another 3 years. Adam Chera has accepted a 5-year, $720,000 a season contract. We are keeping him at Carlton for another 5 years. Very happy with this. He was a steady contributor in our midfield last year, and I'm very happy to keep him. I'm thinking the deal that we've signed is very, very affordable in the short term. We've only offered him $300,000 for the first couple of seasons, first 3 seasons, in fact, then goes up a bit more expensive in those later years on the contract. But if we're still doing a rebuild at that point in time, I might as well not even release the video. But I'm very happy with this deal. How much money do we have left? We've got over $5.5 million to spend on 16 players. So we are going to keep the deals coming fast. What's the saying? Not fast and furious, but I don't know what the saying is, but I'm sure you know what I mean. They're going to be coming quick and fast. Let's move on. Tom de Koning has signed a 5-year extension for $605,000 a season. He's a very good ruckman for us last year. We're going to be getting another ruckman into the club because Pitternet, he's fine. He's serviceable. We're probably still going to keep him, assuming his contract isn't up. But we need a second ruckman who can, if Tom de Koning goes down, who we can rely on. And I've got a few names in mind. I'm going to create a short list of ruckmen that I want to bring in. We'll see what happens. But he's staying, which is great. Brody Kemp has signed on for 5 years, $725,000 a season. Again, he made All-Australian last year. We're going to be keeping him at centre-half back and full-back. Whether his position is actually safe, because he is only an 87 overall, I am looking. There are a few targets in my mind that are probably better positioned than him to slot into our starting 23. I don't know who they are. I've got a few, I don't know, obviously I know who they are, but I know there's probably 4 or 5 guys in my mind who are the 2 or 3 that I'm going to pick. I don't know who they are. That's what I mean by that. But Brodie Kemp, we've signed him on. He's not going anywhere, which is great. We've still got plenty of money to play around with. So let's keep signing away. We're going to keep going because there's a lot of guys out of contract that I want to keep. Elijah Hollands is extending his stay at the Carlton Football Club for another 5 years, $815,000 a season. This is probably a little bit over what I wanted to pay, but we're really paying for potential here with him. He's still a very young player, only got drafted in 2020, but we're signing him up for a little bit of a cheaper deal up front. You know, my standard sort of fee for some of these guys that I've been signing is about $300,000 a season in the first couple of years of the contract. We've signed him up for $250,000 just for the sake that he is a bit younger. Obviously, the back end of the contract is more expensive, but we'll always renegotiate that if we ever get to a point where we need to do that. But yeah, he's staying. Ollie Hollands is staying. We're keeping the brothers together. Now, we've given Jacob Wiedering a 9-year contract instead of a 5-year contract, purely for the fact it's a little bit cheaper. But we've signed him up for $1.1 million a season, the biggest contract we have handed out so far. Mainly because he's one of our best players, which is not a surprise to anybody. He's a 94 overall, definitely one of the key members of the spine of the team. If you know your AFL or your Australian rules football, you'll know that most teams are built with a very solid spine. So your fullback, centre half back, centre half forward, full forward. So he is a member of that spine. So he is very, very important to the future success of this team. So I was more than happy to sign him to a new deal. Let's keep going. There's a few more that I need to get through, and then we'll get into some free agency stuff. I told a lie. I've signed all my current free agents that I wanted to sign. The one player that I haven't signed is Akers. Now, the only reason I haven't done that is because he is a little bit on the older side. He's 29 now. And there is a certain player that I can see on this list that I would like to sign who is a bit younger, and that is Mr. Brayshaw from Fremantle. Andrew Brayshaw from Fremantle. I always get Andrew and Angus Brayshaw mixed up. I know that Angus plays for Melbourne, or used to play for Melbourne, but Andrew Brayshaw is going to be one of our midfield targets for this upcoming season. I'm going to add him to the watch list. We'll come back to his contract a little bit later, but as you can see, if we go to restricted free agents, there's only a small handful here on this list. So we're going to add Brayshaw. I don't think I'm going to add anybody else. As tempting as Tex Walker is, I don't think he would move from the Crows necessarily. I'm trying to think of players that would kind of be interested, like in the prospect of moving to Carlton. So players that are already in Melbourne, I would probably, and are from Melbourne, I should say, I would probably get to move to Carlton. But someone who's playing outside of Melbourne, but are not from Melbourne, such as Tex Walker, doesn't really make sense for him to come to Carlton. So I hope you can understand my logic there. Whereas someone like Andy Brayshaw, who plays outside of Melbourne, but is from Melbourne, I will sign over. Makes more sense. Anyway, these are the restricted free agents, as I said. If we have a look at the unrestricted free agents, there will be a few more. Adam Sard is another one that I won't be bringing back, just because, again, he's a little bit older now. As good as his run and carry is, I'll be looking to move him on to another team, which will be his fourth team, actually. So, who that is, I don't know. But if we go down the list here, these are more sort of players that aren't going to fill my deep and dark desires here. They're not really players that I really want to go for. So free agency is a bit of a miss apart from Brayshaw. But if we go into the trade market, we'll do that in a minute, there will be some players that I am interested in. So we'll get the Brayshaw contract done first, and then we will start targeting some big names. Andrew Brayshaw has accepted a 9-year offer from the Carlton Football Club, $960,000 a season. He is the first edition of the revamp of our midfield. We've let go of Akers. We're probably going to keep Cripps, even though he's probably close to 30 around this point in time, so he might start regressing. But Cripps is probably going to be starting to play less and less. So we're going to be starting. This is not the first midfielder that we're going to be bringing in. I can guarantee you that for sure. So we've got, who do we have? We've got Sam Walsh. We've got Brayshaw. We've got Chera as our three sort of main midfielders. We've got the two Hollands brothers. We've got a few others as well. But I'm probably going to be looking to bring in one, maybe two more midfielders. We've got McCluggage as well, I forgot to mention. And then we'll go from there. So, Andrew Brayshaw, welcome to the club. We're going after the heart and soul of the Western Bulldogs here. We're going after Marcus Bontempelli. We've offered him 3 years, $1.26 million a season, which he has accepted. We now have to put a trade together. This is probably where we're going to send Akers, I would imagine. Maybe Sard as well. I'm very happy with this deal. I'm very much looking forward to using Marcus Bontempelli in this team. I've been having a lot of fun with him in my Gold Coast Suns free time team. He is so good. I love watching him in real life as well. So I'm just so happy I'm going to be adding one of my favourite players onto this team. Marcus Bontempelli, we're going to put a trade together for you, and then we're going to put you in a Carlton jumper. Let's do it. All right, we've put a deal together with the Western Bulldogs. I offered Akers and Sard for Bontempelli and a second-round pick, and they immediately accepted it. I was thinking that was going to be a bit of a tougher negotiation, but never mind. Marcus Bontempelli, welcome aboard. Ethan Reid of the Gold Coast Suns, one of their academy prospects, has accepted a deal from Carlton to come across for another 3 years, $275,000. He is going to be our backup ruckman behind Tom de Koning. I'm very happy with this deal. We still need to put a trade together for him, but he is purely going to be a backup emergency sort of type of player with a bit of potential as well to grow into something better. Is this the most realistic trade? No, he's probably going to spend the majority of his career on the Gold Coast, I would imagine, unless, the wheels completely fall off. And plus, he's a rookie from the last couple of years. He's literally just gotten there. So I would be surprised if they did this deal in real life, but you know what, it's my video, I can do whatever I want. So Ethan Reid, we're going to put you in a Carlton jumper as well. And the deal we're going to be putting together for Ethan Reid is going to be sending Hewitt, Zach Williams over to the Gold Coast Suns in exchange for Reid and 2 second-round picks in this year's draft, number 28 and 29 specifically. So hopefully they can accept this deal. They say it's a little bit under par. So we could probably just take out one of those second-round picks, I would imagine. We'll just take out number 29. We'll keep number 28 in there. They say that's an extremely fair deal, so very happy with this. We've got our backup ruckman. We move on a couple of players that we weren't going to keep, so it's really a win-win for us. We don't have to we don't have to sign another player that we weren't going to use, and we get the backup ruckman that we so desperately wanted. Very happy days. We have put a deal together with Jamara Ugle-Hagan of the Western Bulldogs. The raid of the Bulldogs has continued. We've offered him 5 years, $790,000 a season. We've got our key forwards in my mind already set up. We've got Harry Mackay and we've got Charlie Curnow. Obviously, Jack Silvani's there as a backup. But I sort of plan on using Jamara as sort of a half-forward flanker. I think he's versatile enough to be able to do that. He's got the size, he's got the athleticism. I think he can make a really good sort of roaming half-forward and a third tall in that forward line. So that's where I'm going to be using him. So even though he is a key forward, I'm sort of going to be using him as a overqualified small forward, if that makes sense. So let's put another deal together with the Western Bulldogs. The deal we've put together with the Western Bulldogs, we're going to be sending Durden, McLennan, Hayes and Hanson Jr., I should say, in exchange for Ugle-Hagan and a future first-round pick. Durden was already on our list, and the other 3 were all players that we picked up either in the mid-season draft or the rookie draft last year. So not essential parts of the team in the future, in a way that makes sense. And we get a future first-round pick, which I'll probably use in a trade. I'm not really going to use it as a draft asset. But hopefully this will be enough of a trade to make this deal happen. The first-round pick probably isn't going to be working for them. Let's take that out. We'll take pick 31 in this year's draft instead. And they say it's an extremely fair deal. Our second deal with the Western Bulldogs is now complete. Apparently Toby Green was a free agent and we didn't notice. We have offered him a 5-year deal, $100 million, wow, Jesus, no. $1 million and $5,000, which seems like a weird amount of money to request, but that's what he's asked for. And GWS have elected not to match, so we've signed him as a free agent. Now, Toby Green. I know he's a little bit older. He's 32 at this point in time in the series. I'm asking for 1 season until he regresses. So if he can stay at a 91 overall for this season and this season alone, that is beautiful. The moment he regresses, I am trading him. So we'll probably send him back to GWS in a year's time if the rebuild doesn't work out. So I'm asking for 1 season, Toby. 1. That's all I need from you. So welcome aboard, Toby Green. Our next target is another key forward. I've decided to really load up on key forwards in this part of the rebuild. I think Ben King has higher upside long term and is probably a better player at this point than Harry Mackay. So I'm probably going to move Harry Mackay to our bench, or I might relegate him to a forward pocket. I might do that either way. I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but we've offered him 9 years, $1.055 million a season. We're really just rating Gold Coast and the Western Bulldogs at this point, but I really like Ben King. I've been having a wonderful time with him in my Gold Coast Suns save file that I've been doing in my private time. I enjoy watching him in real life. I just think he's a great player. And I think him and Charlie Curnow together in the same forward line is chef's kiss. So let's bring him to Carlton. Apparently it happened as a free agent signing. So I was prepared to trade for him, but apparently it happened as a free agent signing. So that is a bit strange. Again, didn't see him on the free agent list. So there might be a little bit of a bug there with this current version of the game. But yeah, he was a free agent signing, apparently. So anyway, he's on board. Let's keep going. There's probably a few more signings in store before we get into the national draft and things like that. Maybe 1 or 2 more. I haven't decided. This player won't be a free agent signing. He is going to be done by a trade. It is Harry Sheasel of North Melbourne, probably the best young player in the competition. You could argue either Harley Reid or Nick Dacos also qualifies for that crown, but these 3 guys probably on the podium. Harry Sheasel, I decided to go after him because we traded Adam Sard, we traded one other defender, I can't remember who it was, and Nick Newman retired, so we needed another defender, even though we got a whole bunch of them last year. So I've decided to add him to our collection of players that we'll be bringing in this off-season. So let's put a trade together with North Melbourne. First and foremost, we're going to be offering out O'Donnell and Cooper Sharman, 2 players, but just with the players that we've brought in, I don't foresee using at any point in the rest of the save file. And we're also going to throw in pick 18 and 37 in this year's draft in exchange for Harry Sheasel. Hopefully they accept this deal. They're ecstatic with the proposal. I think we're probably done with the trades. We've got a whole bunch of second round picks which we'll use in this year's draft. I imagine we'll just recruit a whole bunch of mature age recruits, much like we did last year, but we still have a few players that are without contracts. So I initially I said I was going to keep Jesse Motlop, but then I decided I was going to trade him. But now I'm actually back in the camp of thinking I'm going to keep him. So I'm going to put a deal together for him. Chera, we've already signed. Doherty, we're just going to delist. Brody Kemp, we've signed. Hollins, we've signed. Wiedering, we've signed. Newman is retiring, so we're just going to ignore that for now. McCaig, we're going to let go. Martin, we're going to let go. McHenry, I would like to keep, but he's mad at me, so we're going to let him go. And Owies, we're going to keep. So we're going to put the deals together for Owies and Motlop, 2 of our small forwards, as our depth in those positions are a little bit, how's your father? So let's go Motlop first, and then we'll go Owies at the end. Pretty straightforward contract for Jesse Motlop in this one. 3 years, $370,000 a season. No creative accounting or anything. Just straight up $370,000 a season. Very happy just to add him. I doubt he'll play that much, unless there's a crazy injury or something. But he's on the squad. We've brought him back, and if for whatever reason, which I really hope doesn't happen, we have to do another season, we can always move him on for something greater. But anyway, back to Owies. And Owies has accepted $435 a season for 3 years. Again, just wanted to keep him. We can move him on for something different next season if, for whatever reason, this season doesn't work out. How much money does that leave us with heading into the rest of the off-season? We've got just about $850K, I would say, for 7 players. That is more than enough. I'm quite happy with where we're at. Let's head into the draft. we've got a trade proposal. Normally these aren't that great, and they either are very one-sided deals or they come for your star players. Hopefully it's neither. Lockie Young and a second round pick for future first and pick 43. I'm going to decline that because Lockie Young is a nice backup. And I quite like him. I used to play with him. So there's that as well. So anyway, the list uncontracted players. National draft is here. We are predicted to select 3 players. Again, mature age contracts are coming our way. We've got 27, 28, and 30. Who do we need? We probably need a defender, I would say, of some kind. We'll have a quick look at the defenders, see who's here. Faye's always good. Parnell, who used to play for the Crows, is here. He still plays for the Crows in real life, and he's got a bit of potential. We'll go him. I don't know, is it Patrick? Patrick Parnell. Second pick. Again, we'll just see who's available. We probably don't need a key forward, but maybe just a small forward. McKenty. We'll pick him. I don't know who he used to play for. He didn't play for the Crows. Maybe Port, if I'm correct. And then we'll pick another midfielder. We probably don't need another midfielder, but, you know, it's an important position. And we'll take Harry Sharp. He was on our list last year. We delisted him. We're going to bring him back. He's got good potential. And he's going to do a job for us for, you know, as a nice backup option this year. So let's get into the rookie draft now. We're here with pick 16. Now I can see that Nick Murray is here, who I do like. He used to play for the Crows, or I get weird saying used to play for the Crows. He's currently on the Crows list, but he's obviously not playing for them because he's been delisted or he didn't sign a new contract or whatever the situation is. But we're going to bring him in as a key defending option. There are no decent backup ruckmen, so we're going to stay away from them. Maybe another defender. Really? I don't really want to do that. They're out. Key forward. We've got a whole bunch of key forwards, so it's really kind of unnecessary. We'll take Elliot Himmelberg, another former Crow. I'm just racking up former South Australian players at this point for no other reason other than just they're the best player available. And if we can pick up a small forward where there are none, actually we'll take, if we can go back, we will take Taj Wowoden, just because he's the son of a former Brownlow medalist, you know, good pedigree there. And lastly, Jake Rogers is available somewhere. He is a member of the Gold Coast Suns, my beloved Gold Coast Suns, so we're going to be drafting him if I can find him. He's got good potential. He's going to be our last pick. We're probably under the salary cap, which we are, so I'm going to tinker with this to fix this up. And then I'll meet you guys on the other side for preseason. Preseason is now here. We've got Essendon away from home at ETU Stadium. I don't know where ETU is because I'm not from Victoria. I'm going to guess it's Essendon Technical University. I'm guessing that's what it stands for, but I really, truly have no idea. We have got a stacked team. Not that it's just occurred to me, but I'm quite happy with the team that we have. I'm going to tinker around with it to make sure we've got all the right players in all the right spots, and then we'll see how we go. I'll be back very shortly. Okay, we've put our team together. I am very happy with it. We've only got the one injury, which I didn't actually remember who it's to. It's to Ethan Reid, our backup ruckman. So that is okay. Patrick Cripps is the captain and he's the sub. I don't know how I feel about that, but I literally had no idea where else to put him. We might actually put him, Elijah Hollands as the sub instead of him, just so our captain can play. Unless we give Sam Walsh the captaincy. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep it with Patrick Cripps. Anyway, Liam Baker, Brodie Kemp, Elijah Hollands, and Mark Pittonet make up the rest of the bench. Our back half is Jordan Ridley, Jake Lever, Lockie Whitfield, Harry Sheasel, Jacob Wiedering, and Daniel Rioli. Our midfield is absolutely stacked. We've got Chera, Andy Brayshaw, Marcus Bontempelli on the wing, McCluggage as our rover, and Sam Walsh as our ruck rover. We might actually swap those two around, just for my own reasons. And then we've got Tom De Koning in the ruck. Our forward line, we've got Malcolm Rosas, Ben King at centre half forward, Jamara as our left far forward flank, I believe that would be. Toby Green in our forward pocket, Charlie Curnow at centre half forward, and then Harry Mackay in the other forward pocket. We've already gone over the bench. A few of the names that are missing out include Ollie Hollands, Jake Rogers. You know, I would love to play him, but, you know, he's just not very good compared to the rest of the team. Jesse Motlop, who we signed to a new contract. Jack Silvani. We're going to be bringing him into the fold at some point. There will be an injury in our forward line. He's going to be the first man up. And everybody else is probably capable. Lewis Young also stiff to not get a game. But, you know, it's a very good team. I'm so confused. What is happening? Okay, there we go. We fixed that. Everybody else is very, very good. It's the point I'm trying to make. Anyway, we've got our preseason game up against Essendon. We're going to simulate it. We win by 102 points, which is fantastic news. We've got, well, we dominate. We had almost 600 disposals. That is ridiculous. Charlie Curnow kicked 6. Patrick Cripps kicked 4 off the bench. Ben King kicked 4. Very solid game by the preliminary finalists. I was very happy with that, but we've now got round 1 up against Richmond at the MCG to open the season, as we always do. Charlie Curnow has picked up an injury biz. Of course he has. Harry Mackay is going to come in for him. Charlie Curnow can come out for Jack Silvani, who can just sit in that forward pocket very nicely for us. How long is he out for? Ethan Reid's going to be out for a while, and Charlie Curnow only needs a fitness test. So, round 1, he might actually be back now, considering we didn't play an opening round. I will just double check this, if I can find him. Where is he? There he is. He's back. So he doesn't actually miss any games, funnily enough. We'll put the team back as it was. Let's get a good result to kick off our season, and we win by 6 points after kicking 8 goals to 6 in the final quarter. Very high scoring last quarter, but we do win very nicely. Toby Green kicks 4, Harry Mackay kicks 3, Charlie Curnow and Ben King kick 2 apiece, and our midfield does very, very nicely. So we start off the season very well. Let's meet up at the mid-season draft, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes. This season has been a lot of fun so far. We've played 10, we've won 10, and a lot of the games have not been close. We've really built a really good team. We've got the best offense, we've got the best defense, we've got GWS up next, who are currently in 7th. I believe that is a home game. If I check the fixtures, we will find out. No, it's an away game, but the last 2 games I really want to point out. We beat North Melbourne at home by 121 points, and the week before that we played Collingwood away and we beat them by 140, which I really enjoyed because Charlie Curnow kicked 12. That was fantastic. I just wanted to point that out in the video. Normally I wouldn't point out individual matches, but I really had to point out this one. But yes, and we've got the mid-season draft. We've got 1 pick. I really don't anticipate picking anyone super amazing. We've got James Leake here, who was a first-round pick last year in real life, I should say, from GWS. We'll pick him. He's got good potential. I like the look of him. I also saw that I could have picked Jed Walter from the Gold Coast Suns, and if I had a second pick, I probably would have picked him. But we've already got 2 of the 3 academy prospects from the Gold Coast Suns that are currently in the game. I played this game before the most recent update, so I haven't got... I can't think of his name, but the 4th academy prospect that came in the draft. I can't think of his name. It's just really frustrating. He's a midfielder and he wears number 26. That's the only thing I know. I can't think of his name. But he's not in the game, but he is as of the recent update, which I haven't made a video on yet. I might do that at some point, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Mid-season draft is done. We've got GWS away from home in Sir Doug Nicholls round. Chera is injured, as is Ollie Hollands. Who do we bring in is the thing, because we've got a few injuries to our midfielders. I can see that Lockie Whitfield is back, so he was out for a little bit. We're going to bring him in, not to play on the wing. We'll bring in Ollie Hollands to play on the wing, and then bring Liam Baker onto the bench in exchange for Whitfield, who can play in the back pocket. That's what we're going to do. But let's see how we go up against GWS. We're just going to simulate this one, and it's a 3rd consecutive 100-point win. 19 goals in the second half to 5. How many goals did Charlie Curnow kick? He only kicked the 6 on this occasion. But yes, I haven't had a look at the player statistics for this year so far, so I'm going to save that until the end of the season. So I have no idea how the Coleman is looking. I have no idea who's got the most touches or anything. I'm keeping it a surprise for myself until the end of the season. Anyway, I'll meet up with you guys around finals time. I'm assuming we'll be there. We're yet to lose a game. Knock on wood that we won't lose a game. I would like to go unbeaten in a season. We haven't done that yet, I don't think. We might have done it in the Harley Reid video, but considering that video's gone for 3.5 hours, I can't remember if we went undefeated or not at that point. So we'll see how we go. For the first time in one of these rebuilds, we have made a clean sweep through the regular season. I am very happy with how we've gone. 23 wins out of 23 games. It's a very aesthetically pleasing thing to be looking at, this ladder. The closest game that we had might have been like a 12 or 18 point game. Nobody really got within 2 goals of us. It was really quite a comfortable game, I suppose, game and season. Obviously the job's not done. We still have hopefully only 3 or 4 games to go. But that is a thing that we have to deal with. We've got Gold Coast at home in a qualifying final, which I'm very much looking forward to. We've got a few injuries at the moment, including to our captain, Patrick Cripps. At midfield, we've got quite a few midfield injuries at the moment. You can see that Ollie Hollins is injured, Sam Walsh is injured, Owies, well, you know, he's a forward, is injured, and Bontempelli is injured as well. So I'm not really sure who the forward option, or sorry, the midfield option is going to be. But considering it's a wing, we might actually try Silvani out on the wing. I don't know how I feel about it, and I don't know who I'm going to make captain. We might make Chera the captaincy. We'll do that. And who's going to come in for Cripps? Let's have a look. We might bring in Leak for Cripps. That might be what we do. I don't know how long the current injuries are on our team. We'll have a look. Bontempelli's only got a fitness test. Hollins is a hamstring tear. Cripps is a corked thigh. Sam Walsh is a fitness test. And I think that's it. And Owies is not going to play for the rest of the season. So, worst case scenario is we play next week because we have the double chance. We get Sam Walsh and Bontempelli back, and then we make the prelim final, then the other 2 come back. That is worst case scenario. Best case scenario is we win this game, everybody comes back in a week's time. Which is what's going to happen. We win by 33 points up against Gold Coast in the first final. 8 goals in the final quarter. 16 goals in the second half, I should say. Wow, he kicked 8 goals in the third and fourth quarter. Charlie Curnow kicked 4. Tom de Koning chipped in with 3, which is nice. And yeah, very happy with this result. We get the week off. Who do we play? We have Geelong, who finished in 3rd. We have some guys coming back. Silvani can come back to the bench. I'm just going to put Leak on the wing for now, because I think he's going to come out. He's going to be a victim of selection, unfortunately. Bontempelli's going to come in. Going to put him on the wing. He's been really good on the wing. This is the only injury he's gotten all season. Toby Green, he's down to a 78, so we're going to be trading him at the end of the season. Liam Baker's been good. Silvani and Motlop are probably going to come out. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to put Silvani in the forward pocket. Toby Green can be the sub. Sam Walsh can come in for Motlop. And then he can take in the Holland spot as our rover. Is there anybody that I'm missing? Cripps, our captain, most importantly. I've forgotten about the captain. We might drop Toby Green just because he's a 78 overall now and he's not very good anymore. We'll make Hollins the sub. Cripps can sit on the bench as the captain. I like how the team's looking. We should go up to an 88 overall now on the team, which is good. I like it. We're going to put the team together. Do we make the grand final? Do we get to the final frontier? We do. It's a 4-goal win. It was very close at 3-quarter time. We're only up by 11 points, and then we kicked away in the final quarter. Who was best on ground? Ben King kicked 4, Liam Baker and Brayshaw got a lot of the ball. But we're in the grand final. Who do we play? It is the Gold Coast. It's a rematch of the first final. I'm suddenly nervous because we have everything to lose. We're going in undefeated, unbeaten. I feel like Toby Green should play, even though he's not very good. We're going to make him the sub. Who came out with injury? Liam Baker's out with injury, unfortunately. Owies is still out as well. Jesse Motlop's played a few games this season, but he's going to miss out. But for the most part, we're going in unchanged. We've been pretty solid this year in terms of injuries. We've only had a few injuries towards the end, which is to be expected. But we're going up against my favourite team. It's weird. I've got this weird feeling because I obviously want Carlton to win so we can end the video because this video has taken me far too long to make, and I am sorry because of the delay. That there's been a few things holding me up getting this video done, so I want to get this video done and out to you guys. But it's also my favourite team that I'm playing up against, so I won't be too disappointed if we lose. I just want to get this match done. Carlton versus Gold Coast. Who comes out on top? It's going to be us. We do it. 152 to 134, one of the highest scoring grand finals in recent memory. We almost blew it in the fourth quarter. They kicked 6 goals to 5, although we did not kick straight. Kicked 6 behinds in the final quarter. Who gets Norm Smith? That is a good question. Andy Brayshaw got a lot of the ball. Charlie Curnow and Jamara each kicked 4 goals. It could be either one of those 3. I really don't mind who gets the Norm Smith. I'm just happy that we won. I probably made this team a little bit too good because to go unbeaten in the season, I think we had a percentage of about 180, 185. Probably a little bit too powerful. We'll have a look at the end of season awards. Connor Nash wins the Brownlow for Geelong, 23 votes. After he crossed from Hawthorn, McRae and Ben Keys, who's moved on to his 3rd club. He's off to Richmond. They finished in 2nd. No Carlton players in sight. I accidentally had a sneak peek at who won the Coleman. But yeah, lots of vote getters for us, just mainly because we were so dominant. But very happy with our display. Our centre half forward and our full forward finish as the 2 leading goal scorers in the competition. So Charlie Curnow finished the end of the regular season with 91 goals, and we know he kicked 4 in the grand final. He obviously played 2 other games, so did he kick 100 goals this year? That is a little subplot that we're going to be having a look at in a minute. Rising star we're not too worried about. Curnow, King, Rosas, McCluggage, Kemp, all make All-Australian. But did Charlie Curnow kick 100 goals for the year? 101 big ones. He's done it. We've got a forward to kick 100 goals in a year. I wonder how straight he kicked. That's one thing I want to know. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But in terms of the rest of the Carlton players, Toby Green kicked 50, 53 to be specific. Harry Mackay 52, Jamara 41, Roses 30. DeConing kicked 25 as a ruckman, Pittenett as our backup ruck kicked 20. And then we had a whole host of other players in double figures, including a few of our halfback flankers, which was nice. McCluggage passed the 1,000 disposal mark. Charlie Curnow got a whole ton of marks. Tackles was Chera and McCluggage. Clearances was McCluggage. And disposals was McCluggage. So I would say he's probably the best and fairest. McCluggage, he did very well, even though it'd be hard to go past someone who kicked 100 goals in a year. 101.64, so he kicked much straighter than he did last year. And Ben King did a very good job as well. Well, that is going to do it for this video. I'm sorry it took a little bit longer to come out with some of my other videos. I try and get one of these out a week, and it's definitely not been a week since I've uploaded the last one. It's been, I think, maybe 2 or 3, maybe even longer than that. So I do apologize for that, but I hope a nice long video can make up for that. Who is up next is the question I get asked most frequently. I do post it in my community sort of section. There is a list of who is upcoming on my list, but I always put who is next at the end of my videos, and I'll be announcing that shortly. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video, guys. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Butchered my outro. If you wish to watch more of these videos, there are playlists in the description of this video, which include videos to this series, other videos that I have been making, mainly on Cricket 24 and Cricket Captain 2023. But until next time, guys, I hope you have a lovely time and a lovely day wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!